Hello, SimTheWorld here, checking out a demo version of Rover MechanicSimulator. I want to be clear, the full game is actually out there and released, but before we dive into that and go for a series, I thought it'd be worth checking out and seeing if there's any interest. Without further ado, let's get started. We would like to start a game. Thank you. So we have our tutorial missions. There is a lot of talking here. Lots of talking. We're just going to go ahead and figure this out. There's a little green dot. We want to go. Come inside here. And this is our workshop. So our first objective, we can see in the top right hand corner, is to collect all our tools. Got a tablet, got our tool case, and our drill. We'll go check out the workspace. That's our workspace over here. Wants us to, we have the PCB table. We can do stuff with the circuit boards, replace, and we'll play around with all of that once we get into the game further. This is the Rover configurator. Again, I want to see this in action. I don't want a bunch of dialogue. Now this one's cool. The 3D printer, this is where we're going to get our components. We can print them off as we need them. Crusher, so we can recycle. And our workbench. We need to start our quest. Thank you. So we want to take our first mission, our first repair job. We're obviously on a planet that there are many rovers out there that have lots of damaged parts. So let's take this first one. All we need to do is replace the wheel on it. Seems easy enough. So to do that, they bring the rover in on this cart here. Seems like a big cart with a big wagon here just for that little rover. Hopefully we get some bigger rovers to work on in the future. But we need to get that to our workbench. So we've got this crane and we want to go pick up our rover. Then we can bring that over to the table where we'll work on it and get this wheel repaired. Lower that down, and there we go. And I'm sure that is some form of Linux. Kind of funny. All right, let's take a look and figure out which wheel we need to replace. Assembly mode, analyze. So if you watch our car mechanics series, it's got a similar feel to that. We want to switch over to the analyze mode. The only difference is, okay, so there's our bad wheel, and these are all good. It's alright. This is the one we gotta replace. So we're going to hold, we can't take the wheel off just like that. You gotta take this cover off. There it is. Now the only thing that's messing with me a little bit is the controls feel a little backwards towards from the car mechanics simulator. Because everything is holding the right mouse button to remove, which seems a little backwards to me, but it's not a big enough deal to look into changing it either. Alright, so we gotta go print us a new wheel. I'd actually like to know how many rovers we actually have out there. Is this like a huge market where these things are crawling all over the planets in the solar system? I thought these things are like hundreds of millions of dollars, so we are going to wait. So this is 75% done printing. Still waiting. This is a nice easy mission just to get a feel for it. Grab our wheel. We'll come back over and fix this. Like, you gotta imagine there's only like, you need like one guy to take care of all the rovers that are actually in the world. This isn't a very high demand job. Once this thing is off planet, it's not much else to do. Hopefully it can repair itself. Put the wheel plug back on. I gotta make sure you hold down all the way. And alright, the REC connector, last thing you gotta do is resetting the ECU. Okay, so something, because we changed the wheel, it needs to be reset. So to do that, we come over here to the rover configurator. And we gotta do some matching game, it looks like. We gotta get these, we gotta get the battery power, the circuit. So we can come through here. We can rotate by right-clicking. Put in our parts. I've played games like this before. Now, there's the next level of this is you gotta break out your algebra skills from high school. Because we gotta get this to actually total voltage of 8. So we got 3 positives and 3 negatives. Let's go ahead, we'll do 5, do a 4, 9. That is 11. And we take off 3. We need to bump that up to a 4. Let's do that and we're done. Simple as pie. Easy as cake. Alright, so this rover should be done. The order's complete. Take our fingerprint and we've moved up a level. Or moved up the ranks. That opens up a few more jobs we can test. I actually want to take this job. We gotta repair the antenna, the solar panel, and the PCB. That looks like it'll be pretty good representation of what the game is all about, and I think it will enable us to try a few new things. Replacing tires are fun, or just outside parts, but really, the interesting part of the game is when it gets some depth. Where is this thing? We gotta pick this up. I'm over it. Am I not? That is weird. Back out of there. Be disappointing if we can't pick this up. Gotta get the rover on the table. That was my fingerprint, that should be fine. Lower this down. It doesn't want to grab. Oh, there it goes. Maybe it's too close. Maybe we're just zipping along too quick for it to keep up with us. We are the expert rover mechanic. Alright, so we know in the panel we needed an antenna. So we can search for an antenna. Get one of those printing. And we need a solar panel. Alright, so those are printing, so we don't have to wait for those, because that actually takes real time. I want to remove the antenna. And we want to remove the solar panel. Only need 4 screws to take this off. Then under here, you need to get to that PCB. I can only imagine is underneath here. There's nothing along the outside. It is cool. Let's take a minute. There's quite a bit on these rovers. We have sensors, the diodes. We have the control arms and mechanisms for the wheels, sensors, the wheel actuator. So these are pretty intricate. It's not just a simple, a couple parts replace and remove. This game does seem pretty well thought out. And what I actually really like about this game, we've got this PCB, which you go to our tablet, we need to replace that because it's not working correctly. But if we go over to this PCB table, either we could just buy the whole chip, or, as we can see, it's got one bad resistor. We can check, go into examine mode. Oh, it's got 2. Good thing we checked more than just that. So these are actually all components that you can take off and replace. I thought that's creative addition, giving you a little side activity here. So we want to remove the 2 bad resistors. We'll take our soldering iron and remove the pins. So it gives you the option, instead of paying full price to replace the whole thing like that, we can actually fix what's technically wrong with the part. We want to also print off 2 of those. So you can see we could do that for $4.40 or for 20 units and almost no time to print. There we have it. And once we throw these resistors on, be all set to repair this and get it on its way. Head over to repair mode. Yep, we got the 2 good resistors. It's 1. And we have 2. There we go. That's repaired. Now we're ready to reassemble this rover. Just simple drop that in. Needs 4 screws. The mechanics of these rovers, as far as I've played around with, do feel fairly simple. Obviously, I haven't gotten the full game. Just wanted to see what it'd be like, see what it'd feel like. Perhaps with the the full version, you get different types of rovers and more intricate parts, which is something I'll check out and investigate further. Because just from what's already here, there's quite a bit to do. And actually, if we dive into the tablet here, we have a warehouse where we've got our parts. We can get rid of those. But we actually have a skill tree of different perks we can unlock. Similar to kind of how Car Mechanic Simulator was, where, again, quicker analyzing, reducing prices of the parts that we print, instant repairing. Some of the stuff looks pretty interesting, so there's more to the game than just repairing a couple tires. And that's what you want to see. That's why I like some of these little mini games, is, you know, silly as this might feel, it's actually kind of complicated, and I'm sure these get much more complicated to figure out. Because not only do you have to get the path right with the amount of tiles you're given, but you also got to hit the target voltage. So let's take a look at this one. This one's a bit challenging because there's only so many places you can really go. Go ahead and try this. Like, over here, you can just take a look. If I were to run anything, you can't really connect these two to anything else. There's no 3-tier or, you know, T break off because these are wires. Doesn't work in that way. Go ahead and do that. Move on to the next one. Almost done. Here we go. We connected the path. All the voltages are in. We just need to figure out how to total this up. Since we're looking for 3, 2, 2, and a -1. And this rover is complete. It's a fun little puzzle game within, well, a fun little puzzle game. I think it's creative and fun. Not the most realistic job you'll ever find, but nonetheless, a great game. And with that, thanks for watching as I simulate my life one game at a time. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the subscribe so you don't miss any of the future action. You can follow on Twitter for updates to future games being played, as well as follow on Twitch as I try to stream 3 days a week. Thanks, and I'll see you next time at SimTheWorld.